Okay, we're recording.
Okay.
We get all of our giggling out now. It's impossible when you're Team Giggles.
That's true. We are literally Team Giggles.
I know, so... Like, maybe we should talk about that. I don't know.
Yeah. We are Katy and Sam, a.k.a. Team Giggles.
Yeah. Yeah. We started.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna happen.
It will. It's gonna get better. Like sweating and laughing at the same time.
I'm nervous.
I know, me too. We can't stop laughing. But welcome to the very first episode of our new podcast. This is our first, well, at least my first podcast experience. I believe it's Katy's as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're both really excited, but really nervous and just happy to be doing this. But Katy and I are both a bit of perfectionists in our real lives. So this is a bit of a challenge to put ourselves out there in this way. It's a little bit hard to control all the elements that go into this and how it's going to come out sounding, and I'm nervous.
Me too.
I'm nervous, but I'm grinning like an idiot, so I think it's a good thing.
I'm intimidated and I'm nervous sweating.
Can we talk about nervous sweating on our first episode?
I think yes.
I think we can, and we just did.
So we also have our microphone with us who is named Michael, and he should be acknowledged as his own living entity because he is. And
right.
He's a good boy.
He's a good man. And we just wanted to give you a heads up that if for some reason you choose to continue listening to our podcast in the future and you hear us address Michael, just know that we're talking to our microphone and there's not a third member at the party.
Yes.
Michael. Well, there is, but he is a microphone.
And further disclaimer, if you hear me mention Medusa, that is my backpack.
Yes. Yes. My pack is Betty. Always ready, Betty.
Medusa is a dramatic bitch.
She's pretty cool. She's been, after my first, I don't know, I probably don't need to get into this, but Betty was a step up from what I was using before. So I just feel nothing but blessed when I'm wearing her.
I love Medusa. My first pack did not have a name because it didn't deserve one, and it had the worst belt ever. So Medusa's a great step up. She's named Medusa for her mini straps, and she likes to throw herself on the ground.
Yes, she does.
At every opportunity.
I was trying to think of why I named Betty. I think it's because I named the massive, oversized, uncomfortable pack that I was using before her, Bertha. And Betty is just so opposite of Bertha. And she's like sexy and fun. And Bertha just wasn't. So Betty is a real Betty, if you know what I'm talking about.
Bertha just liked to give the stank eye.
She did. And try to pull me down a mountain a few
Yes.
times. But anyway. So what are we doing here, Katy?
We are attempting to talk to you about hiking, backpacking, nature, and why it's important to us and why we think that you should get out there if you haven't already.
Right. The power of nature and the power of participating in nature. How we feel that can offer a lot for people, mentally and physically. And I just really feel like a connection with the earth is kind of something people are missing in their lives these days.
Yes.
So we want to encourage others to get out there, and hopefully we can perhaps be of some service.
Yes, because it can be intimidating when you're first starting out. You can go down the research rabbit hole and really overthink it. It's good to be prepared, but you kind of just have to start where you are with what you have, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so we hope we can make the transition into a new outdoor hobby maybe fun for you or easier for you if you're interested in backpacking or hiking. We're still certainly learning as we go, so maybe we can all learn together.
Yeah, sounds like a good goal.
So I think to start things off, we wanted to tell you a little bit about ourselves as individuals. And I do just want to throw this out there, although we hadn't really discussed this, that our team name we were given is Team Giggles, and you'll probably understand why, because we get a little giggly sometimes. But I think that just comes with our package, so I hope you don't mind our giggling. Anyway, so Katie, would you like to share a little bit of who you are and what brings you to this table right now?
Oh, okay. Yes. This is the part I've been nervous about because it's very hard to condense my entire personhood, but here it goes. My name is Katy.
Hi, Katy.
Hi, Sarah. I was born in Texas, moved to Alaska as an infant, and spent most of my childhood up there, my early childhood. I have 2 brothers, and my whole family was just really active. Alaska's kind of a really active state anyway. So I grew up kind of used to like being outside more often than being inside, really. We did lots of hiking and camping during the summer. Alaska, the summers are so beautiful. There's so much sunshine, unlike in the winter, so you really kind of make the most of them. So we were pretty much camping and hiking and bike riding and doing all of that stuff all through the summer. And then in the winter, what I love about Alaska is that life doesn't just end in the winter. Everyone's super into winter sports, and there's always a good layer of snow, so we would ski and sled, and my dad would flood the yard every year and make us a nice ice skating rink. Aww. And so we just pretty much would play outside until my parents begged us to come inside. And then when I was about 13, a little bit before I turned 14, we moved to Missouri, and I really hated it, honestly. It just was culture shock because I don't know, it was night and day. Even just moving down here felt like moving from another country because it was so far and it took so much preparation. And then I remember like when we got here finally in this exhausted heap with our 2 dogs and our 2 cats and our mountain of luggage, we walked out the airport door and I was hit by this wall of hot, humid air that I had never experienced before, a humidity like that. And I remember having this moment where I wanted to turn right back around and get right back on the plane and fly back to Alaska. So it was a really tough adjustment. And I think I just didn't spend as much time outside as I used to. I didn't find as many like-minded friends. But my family also suffered a pretty big loss a few years in, so that sort of derailed everything. And I just kind of found myself a senior in high school, graduating and trying to navigate grief all of a sudden, and just feeling like super isolated, even though at the same time that I felt like there were always people around trying to tell me like how to feel and how to grieve, just throwing these platitudes at me like it was going to make it all better somehow, and none of it did. And I just remember feeling really alone and desperate just to make it feel better and not really knowing how. And then I sort of just randomly ended up starting to go to this spot at the river close to where I lived. And I just loved it so much when I would go there because it was so quiet. And I actually found it because upriver from it was really popular and there were always people there. And I, at that time, just did not enjoy being around people at all. So I had gone like downstream to try to find a quieter spot. And I just would spend like hours floating on my back, and found it to be really healing because there was nobody talking at me, and I just would stare at the sky and listen to my heartbeat and breathe. And I think that healed me way more than like anything anyone else tried or anything I tried. And so I just kept going there, and then it kind of, in a roundabout way, brought me and my husband together because he was living down there. And so I just started going outside a lot more, and I think part of the healing came from realizing that one of the things that I had lost about myself was my love for the outdoors, because I had moved and I just hadn't really found my place or my groove in this new landscape, I guess. I just kind of hated the ticks and the chiggers and stuff, and I was so used to, I think, making the most of summer that I was trying to go outside in the summer in Missouri, and it's not that pleasant, honestly. And so I just started kind of falling more in love with spring and fall, and then the rivers in the summer when it was hot. And my husband and I ended up going on a little backpacking trip to Minnesota and made every newbie mistake in the book. Our packs were way too heavy. They did not fit well. Like, I did not spend enough time studying the guidebooks, so I didn't realize where I had planned to end on day one was actually just a parking lot and not a campground. So all of these mistakes happened, and then we ended up getting rained out, but I still loved it so much, and it really kind of lit me on fire a little bit. So a few years later, I planned a trip to Nepal where we backpacked, and it was a completely different experience, but it still was one of the best things I've ever done. And after that, we just kind of fell into life and doing mundane shit, and just haven't really gone on a trip like that again. But I think in the meantime, I just kind of connected with Sam, and we started doing some day hiking together, and we meshed pretty well, and at least I think. Let me speak for you. But before too long, we were kind of scheming our first overnight trip, and that is a whole story in itself that we'll get into at some point. But I came
Stay
home.
tuned for that one.
Yes, it's gonna be a whole thing. But I came home just more tired than I have ever been, more dirty than I had ever been, in a lot of pain. But I also just felt so empowered, and just honestly, once some of the shock wore off of what had just happened, I was so ready to go again.
Just within a couple days, I think we were both like, that was horrible, let's go again.
Yeah. And that's where the magic is at, though. That's what it kind of, that has been a continuing theme, is when I need healing, there's healing there for me. But I feel like the last few years, what I've needed more and what I've gotten more out of it has been the empowerment, just coming home feeling so badass and so strong, and so appreciative of what my body can do, and also just feeling such a deep love for nature that just gets deeper and deeper every time, like a love and a respect for nature, because it just, I don't know, she's just out there. Mother Earth is just out there waiting for us to come connect with her, and
Agreed.
In some ways maybe not really giving a shit about us, but at the same time teaching us so much about ourselves. And
she has lessons if you're willing to go look for them, right?
Exactly. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. We've continued doing stuff together, and now we are here, and in some ways this is more challenging and intimidating than heading out on the trail for a week.
Yes, it definitely is more intimidating.
So,
well, thank you, Katie, for sharing.
Thank you.
I feel like we have things in common, and every time you tell your story or a different part of your story, I learn a little bit about you, so that's nice. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Sam. I don't know if we've mentioned yet, but we live in the Missouri Ozarks, not too far from Arkansas. I consider myself, an Ozarks woman through and through. I strongly identify with that description. My family has lived here in the Ozarks for generations, and I feel deeply connected to that heritage and those ancestors that were here before me. I grew up in the rural Ozarks, basically just playing in the woods all day as much as I can. A lot like you, just many, many miles away. My family was very nature-centered, recreationally, but also practically. I remember very long days working in the woods, clearing brush, cutting wood, collecting firewood, gardening with my mom, But we also had a lot of fun outside. It seemed like endless summers, floating the rivers, canoeing, kayaking, swimming, fishing, hunting, My parents definitely taught me to revere nature as well as respect it. Nature was just a huge part of my life growing up, because honestly, I was completely surrounded by it, and I was lucky enough to be surrounded by it. As I grew, my love for the outdoors continued and grew right along with me. As a young adult, I spent all of my free time kayaking or canoeing, camping, hiking. And all along my journey, nature has really provided me with the opportunity to connect with myself and with others. All throughout my life, through tragedy, through heartbreak, Mother Nature, has really always been there for me. it provides me perspective that I really don't get anywhere else. And it, similar to what you were speaking on, it somehow allowed me a chance to heal in a way that nothing else really has, you know, and I think that's the beauty of it all.
Yeah.
And even now, you know, as I've grown and evolved and I became a wife and a mother, I still turn to the outdoors for clarity and for solace. So, you know, that's just where my heart feels at home.
That's a good way to put it.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Whew. Nervous. Okay. So, you know, after I became a mom, I really wanted to find like healthy outlets for me to have some alone time. So I started day hiking more on my own, and I loved it. Katy and I started hanging out more and started day hiking together, and we just really had some wonderful experiences. And soon enough, we were hatching plans for what would be my first overnight hike, which Katy talked a little bit about earlier, and I'm sure we'll have to get into on a future episode because it's just too good. But I will say that it was just so difficult. It was such a difficult backpacking trip, but at the same time, I completely fell in love with it and just became absolutely addicted, not just to like these moments of bliss that you experience out there, but also, funny enough, like to the struggle that I experience out there. So anyway, Katy and I have kept backpacking together, and now I feel like we've had some really remarkable experiences together.
We have.
And among many, many things that I have learned, I've learned that I feel like we're pretty darn good at this, you know. I will
agree.
say that with some confidence. It's like, I feel like we're pretty good at this.
I think so.
So I'll just say, like, the empowerment that I feel I've cultivated out there in the woods on the trail has just been so life-affirming for me. It's just been one of the most positive aspects that I've given to myself in my life, and I just really can't. I don't think I could overstate it because it's just been that moving and important for me. In fact, I will say, like, learning to push through those struggles, those mental walls, those physical walls, those blocks that you get out in the woods when you just don't want to go on, and you make yourself, I mean, that's become one of my very favorite things about backpacking somehow, is that struggle. And that
totally
sounds,
get it.
yeah, see, you understand. And something about doing things that you've never thought you would be able to do. I mean, it's incredibly empowering. I feel like your body kind of switches to a survival mode when you're out there, and you know, in your mind, you don't have a lot of space for anything except the very most important aspects. You know, obviously food, water, survival, but also the people that you love most, the things that hurt most, you know, the things that make you happiest. That's the stuff that remains when, you know, when you're out there with like not much left in your tank. But for me, it's a positive thing to realize maybe how meaningless a lot of the dog and pony show is of society that we all, you know, try to perform in. Backpacking, it brings me back to what really matters. It brings me back to my heart. And I honestly feel that spending time in nature, backpacking, hiking, pushing yourself, it can truly provide healing and empowerment for people. Not just from overcoming those types of physical and internal struggles, but also, frankly, just from being physically surrounded by the wonders of nature, the magnificence of our planet. It's humbling, it's inspiring, it's grounding, and it just truly provides a perspective to you and to me, I should say. I won't speak for you, listener, but it provides perspective, again, of just really what matters most. So that's why I love it. That's why I feel called to help other people find a way to connect with nature. I also just want to say really quick, and I may like re-record this whole thing, but I just want to say that like I'm certainly no expert at backpacking. I'm still learning. I'm so far from being an expert. I just simply want to share my experiences and hopefully encourage others to actively pursue a relationship with our earth and with Mother Nature, and, you know, hopefully to experience some of these benefits of the soul that I'm speaking about. So
yes,
there's my spiel, guys. That's why I'm here.
That was beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
No, it resonates. I think we're really on the same page. It really resonates. I know our backgrounds are really different, but they're, I guess, similar in the ways that have mattered as far as us being able to enjoy this together. I like that you talked about gardening, because that is something that was a big part of our lives too, was like sustainability.
Yeah.
And I think that plays into backpacking really well. Growing up with that mindset, it sort of eases the transition in some way.
I think so.
There's already sort of that mindset of taking care of yourself, you know, self-sufficiency, I guess, is a better way to put it.
Yeah.
But so it was interesting you brought that up, because I hadn't really even thought about that.
Well, and for me, backpacking has made me more sufficient in all different areas of my life. But also it's helped me, you know, again, really focus on what is truly important and cut out so much of the rest.
And that's a big thing. I mean, there could be a whole episode on sort of the after trail depression, which is tough, but like you also do bring the good things back. And that is a big one. If you get back to your normal life and you suddenly are like, do I need all of this stuff? What are my goals? What, like you said, what's really important?
Things that I worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's like, why all of it just seems meaningless, I think is the word that you used, and it really does.
A lot of things do. If I could bottle up that feeling, yes, post-trail blues are real, but if I could bottle up that feeling that I have in those first few days after a good long backpacking trip.
Oh, yes.
It'd be worth billions.
Oh, yes. It would. It's just, there is a magic, because when you try to rationalize it, you really can't.
No.
Like, why do I want to put myself through this thing that is so challenging? Not just physically, but like you said, the mental and the emotional walls are some of the toughest for me to get through. And so if I try to rationalize, why am I going to go out here with all of this stuff on my back and like put myself through this? You know, it doesn't make sense on paper, but
right.
You get so much out of it that just can't be it. I don't get it anywhere else.
Neither do I. It is a high. Now that we've talked about ourselves.
That was the hardest part, just the personal stuff, because I don't know. For me, healing is a big part of it, but empowerment now. And so I guess the point of this is that we've gone out there and we have found the value, and we feel like there's a lot of people that could benefit, as we touched on. Just there's definitely a lot of people struggling. It just seems very evident every time you turn on the news, like even just within friend groups, sometimes it seems like everyone's going through dark things at the same time, or
yes,
there's no shortage of sad, struggling people. And to be honest, just the disillusionment of being an adult human sometimes is a lot in itself. I definitely did not think adulthood would be so hard, but I'm rambling. Basically, it's
ain't
just
easy being human.
No. And it's not easy coexisting with other humans.
Right. And I feel like we just move further and further away from nature all the time. And we're meant to be a part of nature, not separate from it.
We are. And that's why it does feel like home. Like you said, it does feel like home. And so I think we both have found a lot of value in it, that I just personally feel if there's something that I can do to help it be more accessible to people, or maybe make it seem less scary, because sometimes when you get interested and then you try to plan a trip like this, it just becomes so much, and there is a lot of information out there. But one of my main goals for this is to be very truthful and authentic about it. And we kind of joke sometimes about how we're able to like be pessimistic with each other, but we both still understand how important it is to us. Just because we're complaining in the moment doesn't mean that we're hating the whole experience. Right. And I think it's important because there's, we do tend to rely on other people and the information that they put out there sometimes to help us prepare. And we definitely ran into that on our first trip of feeling like maybe people weren't 100% honest about how tough it was going to be terrain-wise. And, I think sometimes people like to have bragging rights as far as how fast they hike a section.
Right.
And
That's
so,
not us so
yeah, you try to gauge how fast you might be or whatever, or try to be like, okay, well, that person seems like they're probably about my fitness level, so I'm going to go off of what they say. And then you just can't do that. I'm getting a little bit heated and off track, but just thinking about it.
No, I think we've had this conversation on trail before, just deciding to never listen to anyone else's opinion or advice again, because we just felt like we've been steered so wrong before, and it really kind of messed with our heads.
And I'm just now realizing the irony in that now we're trying to... But we're not here to tell people what to do or how to do it. We're just here to say that the benefits are there, and they're so incredible. So
we just want you to give it a try.
Yeah.
However you do it.
And in some ways, we are here. We have learned lessons the hard way on trail. So, if we can be honest with you and open about those things, then maybe it will help you avoid some of those mistakes
Right.
that we made. So,
absolutely.
This has been so not cohesive, but
I think we're doing a great job.
But we want to help do some of the legwork and just make it easier.
Yeah, we want to make it easier. We want to help people to find that healing that we really believe is out there. Because I don't know anyone who couldn't use a little healing in some way, shape, or form. And I think, nature offers so much medicine for the soul.
And something we discussed is that, a lot of people, they are looking either for relief or numbing, and would just be upfront that nature is not going to numb whatever you're going through at all. Like, in some ways, it's probably going to bring it to the surface and amplify it even more.
Yes.
But you also have so much space and so much time to work through it that you just don't have in your everyday life. If you are someone who reaches for numbing substances, they probably are not going to be in your backpack because you have had to pare it down to the bare minimum. And so, it is, you have to do the work, but it gives you...
It's not easy. There's nothing easy about it, but it's worth it.
It is. So, I feel like I went a little bit off of the rails there, but hopefully the point has been made.
I think so. I feel like we'll continue to make our points and share, our perspective on these things with episodes, and we hope you guys will come back and listen. We are pretty nervous and all over the place right now, but we feel like it'll get better.
Better with practice, and we just, our high hopes and positivity just have to carry us through. So hang in there.
Right. And, Katy mentioned a few moments ago, like, a lot of what we are wanting to do is just build community with others. Yes.
You meet such great people when you get out there, like people with similar interests and who have found, a similar outlet. That's probably something we'll talk a lot about in the future too, is just the people that you meet and how...
So great.
Yes.
Such great people. I know there's some boneheads out there too. I hear stories, but we've just been so lucky to meet some pretty incredible folks. Shout out, folks.
Yeah, we're going to shout them all out.
They may all get a story with some time, because I think there's some that really deserve it. We just really had some blessed encounters of people, just all different walks of life too, all ages.
Yeah, different backgrounds. There's a lot of really inspiring folks out there.
There really is. And for me personally, I think another reason, well, for both of us, that we are wanting to just talk about backpacking, especially in the Ozarks more, is that we feel like this is just, we live in just this beautiful little hidden gem of an area, and we really have some wonderful trails.
Yes, we do.
Here in the Ozarks that just really don't get a lot of traffic. So we're hoping to shine a bit of a light on our special, nook and cranny of the country here in the Ozarks, because it is beautiful.
It is an overlooked gem. And in some ways, it's conflicting, because it's like, well, do we want more people to come here? But as we mentioned, like, there is a special sort of trail folks are special. And for the most part, they are people who are going to come here and who are going to respect nature and keep it clean and be respectful to surrounding communities. I mean, yes, there's always some outliers, but overwhelmingly.
Absolutely agree. And let's be honest, down here in the rural Ozarks, it's a poor area. Local communities could use the support of people coming in here to enjoy the trails and whatnot.
They could.
So there's just so many elements to it that I hope we can talk about more of all of them moving forward.
And, maybe with like a little more focus. Not that we both knew that we were going to be nervous. That was my elbow on the table. But we do have a lot to say and a lot to share and a lot to laugh about too.
We do. We have a lot to say and share. I feel like this intro episode is especially difficult for us because we kind of have to talk about ourselves and we didn't really want to do that a whole lot.
We make ourselves nervous.
Yeah, we definitely do. So I hope you'll consider tuning back in and hearing what we have to say and, feel free to send us a line or check out our Facebook page or our Instagram page. We've got some neat content posted up and we're just going to keep working on that. And if you have anything you'd like to tell us or anything helpful you think might really up our game, please feel free to drop us a line.
Yeah, our experience is not everyone's, so, we probably had different maybe reservations or things going into it than someone else might have. So we do want this to be an open community and hear from our listeners.
Yeah, and something I've learned is that there's all different kinds of backpackers. There's people that do it for speed. There's ultralight hikers. There's all these different kind of categories, and we're not going to be for everybody, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hope we're for you, though.
Right. We're for ourselves. Yeah. But we have a good time.
We do. So I don't know. Is that all we got?
I think so. It's hard I feel like wrapping it up is almost as difficult as starting it.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't want to leave anything important out, but we'll be back.
We will be back someday.
Yes, hopefully soon. And I hope that you listeners might come back and join us again.
And fall in love with nature.
Yes.
And maybe find whatever it is you're looking for.
Yes.
Maybe even something you don't know that you're looking for, because that does happen too.
Absolutely. More often than not, I think. The unexpected more often than the expected, I think.
Yeah. All right, Michael, you're looking a little fed up.
All right, I'm going to say my cheesy tagline. Happy trails, guys.
And that's the tall and short of it.
And we're both very excited to be here, but very nervous also. And
that's why we're laughing so much.
We are tickled right now with ourselves. That kind of shit.
We're laughing because we both have talked extensively about how awkward we are, and we decided to start a podcast anyway. We're also both scared of our own voices.
Should I start over, or is this not where we're going? Okay.
Just keep going.
Okay.
We'll cut it out later.
I'm going to pause this. I need a break. Oh, we're recording again.
Oh.
Hello again,
Okay.
Michael.
Hello, Michael. So that was we should see how long I can just sigh, exhale, time it.
Time our sigh.